everyone, and welcome to Seller Strategies, where we share specific Amazon seller strategies with you, as well as answer questions that you've sent our way in 5 minutes or less. Here with you, Irvin On with Splitly.com, which is an Amazon listing optimization tool, and myself with Fetcher.com, which we're a profitability tool to tell you what your true profits are and allow you to stay on top of your finances. Now, in today's video, we wanted to share how I personally lost $700 on a launch that I did about 2-3 weeks ago. Now, here's what happened. As soon as I launched this item, I had learned and heard online that you had to start running PPC, that PPC was one of those things that you just had to do when you sold on Amazon. So I did that. I launched, I had my listing active, and as soon as that happened, I started running PPC. The problem though, and what I learned is that when customers were coming to my listing, yes, the PPC worked because whenever they would go into the search bar, type what they wanted, they would find my ad on top, of course, click on my item, and then come to my listing. That was perfect. PPC worked. But when they got to my listing, they would see 0 reviews, which ultimately did not allow them to feel comfortable or, seeing reviews and not buying from me. So I lost all that money in PPC, but no sales. And after asking around and reading more, my lesson and a strategy that I'm going to keep doing going forward is that I must first have at least 5 reviews before I start running PPC. So that way I have some validation from other customers so the new customers can find peace of mind when they order my item. That's my particular strategy going forward, but I know that my colleague here, Irvin, thinks the other way. So I would be more than happy to see what you think, Irvin.
Yeah, I do agree with you in what you said, Maria, that reviews definitely help you convert your listing better and they definitely help you sell more. But my take on launching a product is as soon as you launch a product, I immediately want to turn on pay-per-click right away. And the reason why I want to have pay-per-click turned on right away from the very first day that Amazon receives my inventory is that period's very crucial. Amazon doesn't really know what your product's all about. So in order for you to come up on the search results or at all, you want to have pay-per-click turn on. But if you've got an automatic campaign or a manual campaign turned on, Amazon still doesn't know what your listing's all about until you turn on pay-per-click and get some sales. And then Amazon starts to find out, okay, well, this listing's all about being a widget, or this listing's all about being a garlic press. So the more click-throughs and the better click-throughs that you get, the more Amazon will be able to pinpoint relevancy back to your listing. And we're not exactly sure how Amazon takes score of relevancy, but we're pretty sure that Amazon has this internal scoring system where they look at your product click-through rate, the buy-through rate, and be able to tell exactly how your product fits into the general category, and more importantly, what you're telling Amazon what your product's all about. So that, in my opinion, is why you want pay-per-click turn on right off the bat.
Okay, thank you. That does make sense, and I guess it's one of those things like the chicken and the egg, like what came first. But it's also about your risk level. I just spent a lot of money. 10 grand on my inventory. So I didn't, and I still don't want to spend more money that doesn't guarantee me more sales. But I see what you mean and how Amazon works. But it's interesting. I will consider it for next time for sure. Thank you so much for sharing. And then now we want to hear from you, the audience. Which strategy do you use? Mine, Irvin's, or any other? Tell us what you've tried, what you learned, and what works best for you. Sharing is caring, so please leave the comments below, and we'd be more than happy to see what you do and also take questions that you leave below for the next video coming up. Thank you so much for joining us today, and keep crushing it on Amazon. See you next Friday, everyone.
See you next week, guys.